Hey, this is Eric Roberson, and you are checking out Capital Jazz TV. I have with me the amazing, super talented, and Howard University alum, Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes II. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. Can be better.
So listen, man, it is an honor. It is amazing how things go full circle. We're not going to jump back too far yet, but I want you to tell the people that are watching right now a little bit about yourself. Let's start with the number one thing. Langston Hughes II. Where does the name come from?
Man, well, again, my name is Langston Hughes II. No relationship to the poet Langston Hughes. However, like you mentioned before, we kind of talked. I do think there's a correlation in the arts between all kind of things. I think I'm very fortunate to have a name that reminds me of that kind of consistently. With all that being said, I was born in Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. I like to think I was kind of bred by like the soulfulness in the DC kind of music scene, with so many people who come from that. So I was from Washington, D.C. I was kind of helped along by so many people in that scene that kind of nurtured me and gave, poured into me as this this saxophonist who was trying to figure out kind of what I wanted to do. And I ended up started playing around middle school, kind of took it seriously. It was one of the few things I think that I really took pride in. I tried all kind of sports and stuff. Yeah. And quickly realized that wasn't the kind of path that maybe I was good at.
Play saxophone and play football at the same time.
We'll see. But
what middle school were you going to? Or did you go to performing arts school?
No, man. I actually went to Kettering Middle School, and I was like in this tag kind of thing. And then I went to Flowers High School, and there I was into like this engineering kind of STEM program.
Nice.
And it wasn't honestly until college that I decided to really do music and take it really seriously. And fortunately enough, I was at a college that believed in me enough to invest in those initial steps.
And what college was that?
The illustrious Howard University.
Undefeated, yeah. We both went to Howard University. You can yell wherever you're at. So it's a pleasure. So wait, did you automatically become a music major, or did you start somewhere else and then shift over to music?
I started as an engineering major the first couple months of school. I was playing music before that, but I think I saw the passion that some folks had, in the first couple weeks in that engineering program, and I saw the passion that they had for that. And quickly realized that I didn't have that same passion. But I had the passion for something else. Wow. And at that point, I went straight to the music building and addressed my saxophone teacher at Howard, who is now like a mentor, like this person I place so much value on, Charlie Young III, and went to him and said, hey, I want to try to do this. And he let me know straight up it was going to be very difficult. He said, you're going to have to do a lot of catching up. But he heard me play. He was like, you're behind, but I think you have something really special. And that if you decide to really give your all, he said he has no doubt that I'd be successful.
Yeah. There's such an illustrious history of saxophone players, horn players in general, who went to Howard University. I remember, first of all, when we used to go on campus, I remember Chris Dave on drums. They would set up a drum set in the front steps, Antonio Hart playing saxophone, and I was like, "There's no way we're going to class while they're playing." Were they still allowing you guys to play on the front steps, or was that kind of?
It was interesting. We definitely did for homecoming.
Okay.
They would do like something kind of special where they had some of the jazz students kind of play a bit, on the front and kind of greet the students. But I think in your day it was a lot more of that.
You
guys kind of set the groundwork
every other day.
All that stuff. Yeah.
So amazing is how many times our paths crossed. So you said I worked at a Fame Academy. I did a workshop for them, and you were one of the students that I did a songwriting workshop for.
Yeah, man. A few years ago. Well, I think I was either in 8th grade or 9th grade. I think it was my first year being in Fame, which stands for Foundation for the Advancement of Music and Education, which is a nonprofit in Maryland. That you came and you brought a whole group and you did a workshop. And I was just telling you right before we started, but I'll say it again. It was really cool. Not only seeing you interact with us, but you did this really cool, I don't know what you call it, but you told us to give you a word.
Improv.
This really cool improv thing. You told us to give you a word and you created basically a whole song on the spot. And I guess you just brought up a really cool point that is really it's very similar to what we do as musicians, right? Of improvisation over a song that maybe we're kind of familiar with, but we're using information that we we learned in the past.
It's a conversation just like the one we're having right now. You think of it, it's just a different form of music. And even going going back to it, Langston Hughes was a poet in some form, fashion, and Langston Hughes II is a poet in a different form, fashion, right? It's just a different instrument. Right. So let's go to this now. So you graduate Howard University 2023.
23.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And then we said, let's step out on faith, and now you've been building up content and making a name for yourself on the social media scene. Tell us a little about that.
Well, I mean, I guess after Howard, I left, and then I was kind of on this path. I think I was telling you earlier, I think at least in D.C., I was able to be surrounded by some, I think, the most soulful people in the world. But I ended up moving to New York and studying at the Juilliard School for my master's.
Great.
And I think there I was able to kind of be addressed with some of the, like, really technical, some people who can really get around technically.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think hopefully through both of those things meshing together, at least in my mind, I figured that if I can get both of those things, then maybe I'll be okay. So I have a few more semesters at Juilliard. But in the meantime, like you said, I've been kind of working on like social media stuff, you know. People say all the time, like, make sure, you know, you kind of get that stuff together. So I've, you know, did some recording sessions.
Yeah.
Decided not to release it as a project quite yet. I wanted to kind of build a base first.
Yeah.
But we put out, you know, a bunch of social media campaigns and stuff, and that's been going quite well.
And now you're here on the Capital Jazz SuperCruise.
Right.
How does it feel?
Man, it's amazing, man. You guys say it all the time. This is like a family, and it feels like that. I've spoken to people, and it's cool how many people have. This is not their first time. You know, this is like a regular thing for a lot of people, and I think that's revealing about, like, you know, the caliber of this cruise and the caliber of the people that come to this cruise, the caliber of you guys as musicians, you know, that you can have a person that wants to continuously come back year after year.
Well, the beautiful thing also is not just this cruise, but just the Capital Jazz family is spread out all over the world. Yeah. So when they get a chance to see Langston Hughes II, see you play, see you walking around, see you carrying yourself as the artist that you are, they're going to carry it back to California. They're going to carry it back to London and to Texas. And that's a beautiful thing. What is the main thing you want them to carry back with them?
Man, I want people to, I think every day I kind of wake up when I meet people, and it makes me realize the power of music itself, right? Like, you know, we get up in the morning, and oftentimes the things that we listen to can dictate how the day goes, or it can steer us in a different direction than how we may have woken up, you know. And I think to hear music, especially live music, which is a whole different experience, but to hear live music that hopefully connects to you in some way, whatever that means. Like, it might just be entertaining. It might make you want to get up and dance, or it might make you think a little bit, you know, or it might make you inspired, or remind you of some memory of something, you know. Yeah. But the power of that. So, I mean, at least my goal, I think, is if I can inspire somebody in some way, in any kind of form, after hearing, you know, us play, I think it would be a good thing. I think we would have succeeded. You know?
Well, I'm inspired already, man. I mean, just the fact that we did Fame, and now you went to Howard. I mean, you're on the right path, man. And Juilliard is amazing as well, and I think you're going to take that by storm, as well as what you're doing with social media. All right, a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
Favorite saxophone player?
Oh, God. Quick question was not a quick question. I mean, it's so many people. I mean, Cannonball, I mean, Antonio Hart, love him. Yeah. My old teacher, Charlie Young III, he's really low-key, but I think he influenced me in so many ways. I mean, of course, we're all kind of bred from, like, Charlie Parker. Yeah. So many people, but maybe if I had to pick one, I guess Cannonball Adderley, I think was somebody that I connect to, you know.
That's a good place. That's a good place. Well, all good. So, listen, I want to give you some advice, because we're on this boat right now, right? I met your lovely mother, first and foremost. Yeah. God bless you. You're beautiful. There's some aunties on this boat. After they see you play, stay close to mama.
For sure.
I'm sure mama got that blade on her. She snuck it through customs. She gonna keep you protected.
Yeah, right.
So aunties, behave yourself. Just because he's playing for you doesn't mean he's playing for you. Huh? Age appropriate. You know, but it's all good. So how old are you now, if you mind me asking?
I'm 23.
23.
We're about to be 24.
Aunties have at it. He's 24. I'm sorry, mama. No, it's all good. But no, it's really good that you are doing all different things. Now, are we touring as well? Are we looking for festivals and stuff? What's the plan for 25?
Hopefully to play a lot more. I mean, we do a couple venues pretty consistently. We're doing Blues Alley. You know, growing up in D.C., we've had a chance to do that venue a few times. So we're doing that again in June for a few shows. some festivals this summer. I mean, the goal is to just continue building, continue kind of finding people to connect with, and hopefully building some audience,
Well, listen, you already know. If you need me, let me know.
Yeah.
Where could people find more information about you at?
Yeah, I mean, luckily everything's pretty easy. It's just Langston Hughes II. So Langston Hughes with 2 I's at the end on pretty much everything. I mean, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, website is the same thing. Yeah. So hopefully that's not too challenging for.
Not one bit. Not one bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, everybody, this is Langston Hughes II. I'm standing in for my dear friend Jodine Dorsey, but this is Eric Roberson, and this is Capital Jazz TV, and we're out.